What's good, beautiful people? It's your boy Black Zeus checking in while I'm editing this week's episode of the podcast, which you are about to enjoy right now. A little bit of a disclaimer. The first 10 to 12 minutes had an audio issue this week, so I do apologize. I just wanted to let you guys know up front when you start the podcast, you're like, why do they sound like they're in a potato chip bag? It's just 10 to 12 minutes. The audio does cut back in, but you can hear everything we said. I cleaned up the audio as much as I could. And either way, this is still a very enjoyable episode. We talk about all things nerd and comedy this week on Black Zeus the podcast. Hope you enjoy. Deuces.
All you bitches on the internet that talking about this comedy like you a part of it, my nigga, you could suck it.
I don't know which one I would get rid of between movies or video games because I really like them both. And I
that's the hypothetical, bro.
I know, so I'm saying I don't know which one though. I don't know which one I would pick.
No,
4 years. It was. What do you mean it wasn't?
Then you aren't paying attention the way I am. If anything, I was actually delivering these vehicles. None of these productions shut down in Toronto. Everything was going. You know, it's been interesting as I'm playing Fallout London. I'm realizing now because of me actually having goals and schedules and deadlines and all these like things that I'm doing. Whereas when I was first playing like Fallout, the franchise, I was a teenager and I had all the free time in the world. So get through the nerd. We talk about comedy a lot. Timestamp that. The audience obviously is the ultimate measure of it's funny or it's not funny.
Yeah.
But at an open mic, as a micer, the objective isn't going there and being like, I got to make the other micers laugh.
No, I know that's not the goal because you want to get good at doing funny stuff.
Wrestling's still real to me, damn it. Have you ever seen that video?
No.
Type that in right now.
It's still real to me, damn it. I mean...
Chappelle's 92,000. Patrice, 92,000.
There you go. Took you long enough.
90. It's because Patrice was here last week. Ladies and gentlemen, if you are new to the podcast, welcome. If you're returning, welcome back, beautiful people. You too can be a beautiful person. All you have to do is hit that subscribe button, leave a comment, hit the like button. Help us fight Mr. Algorithm, nigga.
Hey yo, it's Black Zeus the podcast season 5. Welcome to the show where we talk about life, talk about the come up and sometimes we fight. But in the end, it ain't a thing, cause we ain't trying to be right. We're just old new niggas with another podcast.
It's season 5, episode 27. I'm walking around on this rock like I'm living in heaven. And if you feel like you in hell, motherfucker, I can tell. Cause you walk around with a fucking,
Like a bend in your back. Straighten out your back. Straighten out your back. Walk with purpose.
the podcast season 5.
Walk like you're going somewhere. What's going on, beautiful people? Yo, what up, what up, what up, what up, what up, what up? I hope you've had a beautiful week. I hope your next week is even better than your last week, and I hope it just keeps getting on better from there. Let me turn the hat around so you can see me. Number one rule of being on stage. Turn that hat around. Turn that frown upside down. Cause your boy Black Zeus is back in town. And he's bringing you that good old country twang. My name's Black Zeus and I'm the man. And drift away. What's going on, beautiful people? Welcome back to another week of the podcast. This is Black Zeus the podcast, season 5, episode 27. You are the beautiful people if you've subscribed. If you have not hit subscribe yet, if you have not left a comment, hit the like button. Do something that helps us fight Mr. Algorithm. We're fighting this necker. Then you looking kind of ugly. Only them people that subscribe are the beautiful people, the people that we love. The people that we love you and appreciate you. Thank you for hitting that subscribe. Leaving a comment, hitting the like. We fight Mr. Algorithm all day and night. Ooh. Ooh. I smoked weed hours ago, so I'm past the nap phase. Now I'm just in delirium. Smoking weed every week, back to normal. Think I'm gonna have to fucking take a tolerance break here soon. Yep. Yep, that's it. All right. Yeah, let's get into the podcast this week. Not that much crazy shit happened this week, but we're still here to talk about comedy and all things comedy for the people that love comedy. Before we get to anything, I should promote some shows. Left my phone charging in the other room, so let's go by memory. Tonight, which doesn't matter to you because you will hear this 4 days from now, 5 days from now. I am at the Zoetic Theater, so thank you, Sandra Battalini, in advance for what I'm sure will be an amazing time. August 16th and 17th, I will be at Yuck Yucks in Niagara Falls. I have more dates for the corner and for Yuck Yucks. Don't have them in front of me. So if you're in the Niagara Falls area, get your goddamn tickets to Yuck Yucks website for Yuck Yucks Niagara Falls, where I'll be featuring on the 16th and the 17th. Yeah, this is going to be one of those episodes. I'll make up for it, though, with some lackadaisical freestyles. Let's bring up an old hen dog beat that I have just sitting here. Nope, don't want that one. This episode sucks. Ooh, classic. Shout outs to Hen Dog Beats. I gotta upload more of these fucking instrumentals to the folder so I have more inspiration to go off of, but
I'm sitting here up in the studio right now, and I'm just trying to rap for y'all niggas like I'm a clown, but I am not a clown though. I'm a comedian, nigga, and there's a fucking difference, and let me tell you, I'm pulling triggers. All you fucking bitches on the internet that talking about this comedy like you a fucking part of it, my nigga, you can suck a dick. You fucking suck like shit. You motherfuckers, you ain't talking about nothing. Get the fuck up out my face, all you goddamn pages that talking like you fans of comedy, you disgraces. Cause all you fucking do is talk about the same crew that be fucking Joe Rogan and his motherfucking stooges. Alright, that was... I wasn't gonna gamble with that one. That was actually pretty good. That was like the first decent freestyle on this fucking podcast in weeks. Look what happens when I'm more sober than normal. Yelling! We're gonna do this sooner than normal, because why the fuck not? I got show obligations, so I gotta make sure I'm not in the studio too long today. So why don't we do what we do every week? Summon a nigga, let's get this nigga in here, summon a nigga. Everybody do your fucking X-Men, Wakanda Forever, goddamn nerd up, fucking mudras for the number one nerd in my life, nigga, the homie. That sounded gay as fuck. For the number one nerd in my life. Oh, I love him so much. Oh, he's such a good producer. He's such a good producer and he's a good friend. Nigga, this episode sucks. Dante's in the building.
We not your little homie.
No, we not your little homie. Salute to Carolina Mays for ruining our lives with the AOs.
We not your little niggas.
We not your little niggas.
I know Killer doesn't respect little niggas. Only big niggas got little niggas. We not your little homies.
Man, shout out to Carolina Mays, bro. I don't even watch sports anywhere near as much as I did in the peak of my life, which was like 5 years ago. And all of that sports was condensed into like maybe 6 years of my life. I did not give a fuck. Like, I watched playoff sports. I didn't watch it all as a kid because I was too busy being outside. I was an outside kid. I would rather play basketball poorly as a kid than fucking watch basketball. And like video games and Legos and wrestling, fantasizing about like Pam Anderson and Halle Berry. Spent a lot of time doing that. Why the fuck would I watch football when it's Pam Anderson's tits? How you doing, Dante?
I'm doing great.
Doing great. Yo, the amount of times I rewatched that preview clip, I was like, how was your comedy week? It was great. Fucking last week was a great episode. This one won't be as good.
Yeah, we don't know.
How you been living, bro? What's new?
What's new? What is new? I'm on a good streak.
Of shows?
Of shows.
You did more shows this week?
Yeah, did one Thursday.
Were you about to say you did 2 shows this week?
No, but I did 2 weeks in a row.
Okay, 2 weeks in a row. Hey!
Yeah.
Is that your first back-to-back weeks of doing shows consistently, you think?
No, because I did one before we left for Texas.
In Texas?
Yeah.
Take me back.
Actually, did I?
Texas? I think you did.
I did one. I didn't do one the Thursday because we left on a Friday.
Yeah.
But I did one the week before, so that doesn't count. But then, it wasn't a week, so I can't count it. But yeah.
I like how fresh comedy is for you still, that you're like, I can't count it.
It wasn't a week streak.
A week streak. Yeah, unfortunately, I did what most comics do when they've been in the game longer than 5 minutes. I was standing outside talking to other comics while you went up, so I missed your set.
That's okay.
How did you feel about this week's set? What'd you work on? And
what did I feel like...
Wait a second. What the fuck are we doing right now, nigga? Why are we doing the comedy recap right now? All of a sudden, this nigga's steering the goddamn shit. Welcome to the Dante and Zeus show, the fucking Marvel alt universe version of this show. There's an infinite version of these, so somewhere I'm Dante's slave. Oh no. Give me a second, ladies and gentlemen.
Is this one not recording?
And we're back. Yeah, we were gone, technical difficulties, and I really didn't want to lose that freestyle. Because like I said, first decent freestyle on the podcast in episodes. So fuck restarting, bruh. We're 10 minutes in. This episode's already mid. What's a little bit of a fucking awkward pause? Hey, yo. So yeah, before, let's get back into the flow of things. Before Dante tried to fucking put a rift in the space fabric.
Space fabric.
Yeah, the space fabric of time or whatever the fuck.
Space-time continuum.
Shut the
Or the
fuck up.
fabric of reality. Come on, dude.
Fucking loser over here. So how was Marvel fucking Jesus movie?
It was great, dude.
It was great. So we both watched Wolverine versus
Deadpool,
Marvel,
yeah.
Deadpool
Yeah.
and Wolverine.
Yeah.
Deadpool, Wolverine, Dead Wolf, Wolfpool. Yeah. I'll let you fucking take this because
I thought it was. I had a lot of fun watching it.
nerd. All right, continue.
You know me, I don't like spoilers, and there was a lot of things that could have been spoiled in this movie.
They did. Yeah.
Spoiler alert!
They do things. Yeah, I was actually surprised because normally for a movie, apparently they were like releasing fake news out into the public.
Yeah. And
Telling people that so-and-so character is going to be making a cameo, and then they never appeared. So they were throwing out a bunch of shit to try and deflect.
not just deflect to hijack. You got to dodge the hijacks.
So, all right. But what's your ranking out of 5?
4.5.
No points.
4.
All right. I like that. It's either a 5 or it's not.
Yeah.
There was a lot of faults in that movie, I think.
Like
but
what?
I'm not.
What are the faults?
I'm not watching it.
What is the fault in your stars? That's a movie reference. I don't know if you get it.
I'll give it. Because we're not doing halves, I was thoroughly entertained. Not thoroughly. I'll give it a 3.
Okay.
I really want to give it like a 2.5, but I'll say it's closer to a 3 than it is a 2.
Okay.
So this is where the no halves actually help it in my favor.
What didn't you like about it? Like you're saying, there's like faults to it, but
Again, I know you're more of a Marvel nerd, so I'm
but
not
I'm
picking
asking.
like when we watch Star Wars and I'm picking up on all these fucking 10-plus-year-old like through lines and
Yeah.
storylines and all this shit that are paying off. I don't get that same effect. So to me, I'm sure that's what diminishes. Like, because we were talking about it before we recorded the podcast, but the Lost World or whatever the fuck. See, I don't even know the terms.
The Void.
The Void.
Yeah.
It was just bland to me. It was boring. Like,
Okay.
It's just. I feel like a lot more could have been done. I feel like okay. The character, the meaningful characters that they brought back. I guess it all has meaning because they're saying goodbye to the Fox universe essentially.
Yes.
This movie is like a love letter.
The Fox timeline.
The Fox timeline. So all the Fox shit is now thrown into the same timeline. All the Sony movies would be their own timeline then.
Yeah. So basically, what they're trying to do in this movie is because in the main Marvel universe,
There's one main timeline.
there's a sacred timeline.
Sacred.
We'll get more into that later.
No, we won't.
Yes. But they exist in a multiverse,
Yeah.
right? So the Sony was its own universe, its own timeline.
And that's how they explain bringing Garfield and Maguire in from a different friggin'.
Yeah, exactly.
So that's from the Sony multiverse.
No. The multiverse is all of them combined.
It's all in combined.
It's from a
the
different
Sony
universe.
timeline.
Yes.
Essentially.
Yes.
And so anything Marvel related that happened over at Sony has nothing to do with the sacred. The Disney timeline essentially is the sacred timeline.
No, because that's a whole different thing. Right? So even this is what you got to watch.
So do the comics count as their own timelines?
Yes.
So Marvel Cinematic Universe is its own. It's
its own universe.
That is.
But it's part of the multiverse.
So everything that's ever really happened in Marvel comics counts to some degree, but some of it, like in Star Wars, they have this canon timeline.
Okay, yep.
Like, because Disney obviously bought out Star Wars,
Okay, yeah.
but they took all the comics that came out for Star Wars and all that shit, and they threw that out.
Yeah.
They said this is all Legends material.
Okay.
So they acknowledge that it exists, but it doesn't count towards continuity or
Yes.
timelines, except for what they decide to bring in. Now Disney's saying everything that we bring in from this stuff, because they've used a lot of the stuff from Legends, but
So the difference in that is that all exists in one universe. Does that make sense?
yeah, there is no
They don't
multiverse
acknowledge a
for Star
multiverse.
yeah.
Whereas in Marvel, because they have the idea of the multiverse, the comic books is its own universe, which is also part of a multiverse, right?
Yeah.
Sony multiverse because it's all
And Fox, which
Fox.
they buried.
Exactly.
I just feel like that it's too much, bro. Like they diluted Marvel so fucking much that it lost all like excitement to me. Even a movie like this, which I feel like I would have been more hyped for. But I'm just like, bro, I could give a fuck. Even like Star Wars, as much as I enjoy it and I'm still watching all the stuff, I'm still kind of out. Because I'm like, they've diminished this so much. I'm just enjoying watching how they put like mysticism and like occultism and spiritualism and religion and all this stuff in mishmash shit like we talked last week.
Yeah.
Marvel obviously does that to a high degree also.
Yeah.
It's all Disney stuff. These niggas are fucking occultists over there. But I just don't have that attachment. I didn't grow up with the comics. I didn't grow up. I'd say the most I paid attention to comic books is Batman.
Okay.
I
The
have
movies or the actual comic book?
I have some Batman graphic novels and shit.
Okay.
Like the classic, Killing Joke, or let's see, I can't even
The
fucking-
Killing Joke or what?
I think it is The Killing Joke, is what it's the title of it. And then Longest Halloween, Batman Year One. I have some of these.
Okay.
I couldn't tell you what the fuck happens in them,
Yeah.
but I have them.
Yeah.
I don't have like Spider-Man. The first I ever really paid attention to was the movies, Tobey Maguire.
Yep.
And video games.
Did you play the Spider-Man video games?
I did on PS2. Spider-Man 2 was like revolutionary.
Yeah.
Just because you could just swing through. And then going back to play that after you've played the new Spider-Man games is abysmal. I'm like, oh my God.
Yeah.
But that's what it was. So I don't know. I just don't have that enjoyment. And I feel like it's tainted all of Marvel for me at this point.
Really?
Yeah, as hype as it gets, as big as the Avengers got when they were doing the 2-part Endgame,
Yeah.
like I watched Wolverine and Deadpool on a stream at a friend's house. Like that's how much. Where most of my friends are like, "Yo," I did have friends asking me if I wanted to go watch it with them, and I would have been down. But I have shows
Yeah.
and comedy. I'm not gonna not go to comedy for some fucking goddamn superhero Marvel shit.
Yeah.
Like, that doesn't make sense in my mind. And it leaked, and I was around people, and they're like, yo, let's just watch the leak. And the leak was actually really good quality.
Yeah.
Sorry, Marvel.
Yeah.
I know, though, you saw it in theater. Did you see it in IMAX?
AVX. That's not IMAX, but yeah.
Like
Like, no.
the ultra fucking
AVX. Yeah.
How was the movie experience for you? How was the theater experience?
I love you know me. I love the theater experience.
Like watching a nerd movie with a room full of nerds is
Not even that. I like stuff to be loud. Like I listen to my music loud. When I go to a movie, I like that when it's in the theater, except for fucking Dunkirk. Don't watch Dunkirk in IMAX because it's loud for no reason.
Anyway.
I know, but if you watch,
no,
it's just loud
it's not for no reason.
Dog, it was too loud.
That's what he said he wanted the experience to be.
Yeah, I know.
He wanted you to feel like you were in war.
It was annoying. I get it. I understand. And this is me saying I like loud stuff.
So I think it did its job because
I know.
What being in war is like.
I know. I trust me. I understand. I understand the sentiment, but that wasn't a loud movie. Anyways, I like going to movies for that experience. I like watching things on a massive screen. Mm-hmm. Maybe that's just because I grew up going to the movies, but I do enjoy that experience.
Yeah, fair enough. I think just because I'm already invested in one universe, that's enough for me. Like Star Wars is pretty much my universe from childhood. Like my fantasy. Mm-hmm. Like, okay, I'm going to pay attention to one of these things. Is going to be this.
If they made a Legend of Zelda universe, would you invest in that too?
I am invested in it in the video games. That's all I need.
But I'm saying if they made like a movie.
I could give a fuck. Netflix has been trying to do a Zelda show. I don't care.
You say that until they make it. And
I'll watch it.
And be like, yo, this is sick. And then,
I'll watch it, obviously, because I want to see if they do it justice and all that stuff. Like, I watched the Avatar live action, like the series.
Yeah.
That was good.
Yeah.
Would I say I need it? No, I already got what I needed, which is Avatar.
Yes.
Like, and as long as they continue to make good Zelda games, I could give a fuck what they do in the movie space, because I'm kind of just, I don't know, cinematic. I'm just done with Hollywood, I think.
Okay.
Like, it just bores the fuck out of me. Even though I continue to enjoy the stuff that they're putting out, some of it, I could probably do without it at this point. If we were to get rid of movies, music, video games, I'm not putting comic books in there because that makes the question too easy. Movies, music, and video games. One has to go. What are you keeping?
Ooh. You can't get rid of music. Like that's the foundation of everything. So you can't get rid of music. Movies and video games.
I'm keeping video games.
I would say video games too, because they're more of like an interactive thing. Correct. They're like an interactive movie.
And it's longer. You get more out of it.
Yeah. Like
for the most part.
Depending on what game and stuff like that.
I doubt there's very many games out there that take less than 2 hours to complete.
Have you ever played Fallout 4?
That wasn't even good.
I was saying that takes more than 2 hours.
That's what I'm saying. A movie's 2 hours.
I thought you're saying all games are under 2 hours.
No. What? That's insane.
I got that mixed up.
Yeah, no.
No, most games are around.
And if anything, most movies now are like 3 hours. Some are pushing 4.
2.5.
These fucking psychopaths making 4-hour movies. Go fuck yourself.
Yeah.
But it's my artistic vision. Yo, your artistic vision belongs in the fucking garbage heap. 4 hours.
I will say though, just going back to like Deadpool and Wolverine.
Yeah.
I thought it was fun, which I think is good.
Wait, you didn't say which goes.
Oh yeah, good point. I don't know. That one's hard. If it's between movies and video games.
That's how I know you're a nerd at your core.
Yeah. Because I like going to
the movie Sophie's theater. Choice right now.
I don't know what that is.
Which child are you picking? One has to die. You have 2 kids and one has to die. And it's your choice.
Okay.
It's like, you can't pick which one of your kids to die. It's a movie.
Yeah. Oh, it's a
Meryl
movie.
Streep. Yeah, Sophie's Choice.
And because I grew up on both of them. I grew up playing video games.
I grew up more on... I would say, obviously, movies has probably played a bigger role just because it was more
If we
prevalent.
get rid of, does that just mean they don't make any more new movies, or we get rid of movies ever existing?
I don't care.
It matters.
I don't care on the hypothetical. You
Well,
still get what came before.
So you just stop making movies.
Nah, because that makes the question too easy still. Because movies have gotten progressively worse. Video games too, I guess. Video games, though, I don't think have hit their full peak yet. They're still peaking. Like, it's just, I feel like we're just at the verge before it all goes to shit.
Okay.
But movies peak to me.
I don't think they have.
Not art, not artistic direction, not artistic vision, not good writing and all that stuff, but big budget. I'll say if we take in the last 5 years the big budget video games versus the big budget movies,
But here's what I'll say about the last 5 years. Because
COVID and shit.
COVID and all that stuff,
matter.
movies had to take a hit.
No, it didn't.
Yes, they did.
Creativity didn't have to take a hit.
No, but you, with all the lockdowns and
You can say the same for video games. If anything, video games are in a bigger crisis mode right now than movie industry.
Wow.
Everybody's getting laid the fuck off.
Yeah, but I'm saying like when you're working on a game, you're just in front of your desk. You don't have to be like an actor where, you know what I mean? Like there's the whole social
There's
distancing
acting
thing.
in video games.
Yeah,
and
but
if anything, they demand more out of them now.
depends
than they
on
ever
the
did.
video game though.
Most big, but we're talking big budget. I was just
We're talking about all video games.
but I was just making the comparison of big budget of the last 5 years. I don't care about small shit.
Well,
For the last 5 years, big budget versus big budget, which produce like more sustainable or better hits, would you say? Because they were both impacted. Video games got delayed, video games got canceled, movies got delayed and canceled.
yeah. I still say movies took a bigger hit though.
Yeah, because people couldn't go to the theaters.
Yeah. Like you can play video games at home.
But those movies,
You could enjoy video games at home. You know what I mean? Like you can enjoy movies at home, but everything was like scratched.
I don't know what you mean by that.
It was on pause, for
No,
3,
was it?
4 years. It was. What do you mean it wasn't?
Then you aren't paying attention the way I am. If anything, I was actually fucking delivering these vehicles. None of these productions shut down in Toronto. Everything was going. The only industry that stayed open during COVID was movies. So I don't know what the fuck you're talking about. It shut down and all this shit. Like, what did it affect? It didn't. They were still making the goddamn
you couldn't
thing.
go to the movie theaters.
Okay.
So you couldn't go to the movie theaters. That means the kind of movies that they're making are changing. Like everything crumbled for 3 years, and then they slowly started building it back up.
But you're saying that nothing crumbled for video games.
I'm not saying nothing crumbled. I'm
and then
saying
what's
movies
even the
crumbled
point of bringing
more.
this up? Because what produced better shit? That's ultimately what
in
I
the
care
last
about.
5 years,
Yeah.
though, which I'm saying it's hard to. If you're saying,
And we're
maybe
already
10
years out of COVID, so like,
yeah, but I'm saying for the first 3 years of that 5 years was COVID.
they didn't stop making movies though.
Yeah, but they stopped making good movies during that time.
No, they stopped a long time ago. I don't know why you think COVID is when all of a sudden bad movies started coming out.
No, because I was still watching good movies before that. Maybe the movies that you like, they were making no more good movies, but I think there are still good movies
So
coming
you're
out.
talking about like Marvel shit, essentially.
No,
What other
but
stuff?
I'm saying like other stuff.
Give me an example. If it's so good, it should stick out in your mind.
I like the Jordan Peele movies
Those all came out in the last 5 years?
before.
Okay. So that's before the 5 years.
I think Nope came out within the 5 years. But
Wasn't that one of them came out during the pandemic, no?
Nope.
Was no?
Yeah, but before that was Us, and then before that, which was maybe even 10 years ago, I don't even know when Get Out came out. Like 2018, 2019.
That was just before the pandemic, I think.
That's what I'm saying. Like I think good movies were still coming out.
Yeah, but good games were too.
I know. All I'm saying is movies took a bigger hit within the last 5 years.
I don't think movie theaters getting closed down had a big enough impact on the quality of movies being made. That was already a thing at play. They're already dipping into the fucking sequel well and prequel well and remakes. I mean, video games are doing that. If anything, that would be the argument against the video games, is them just constantly going into fucking big franchise mode or a remake.
Mhm.
They slipped into that for a minute.
I don't know which one I would get rid of between movies or video games because I really like them both. And I
That's the hypothetical.
I
buddy.
know. So I'm saying I don't know which one though. I don't know which one I would pick.
Well, that's the fun of the question. Answer it.
I'm trying, but I don't
I'm
know.
trying.
I don't know which
How
one.
is this that big of a deal in your mind? I'm like, what the fuck?
Because
Just pick one.
the way my mind works, I gotta think of all these variables.
That's insane. I get it, but it's not real.
Yeah, but you want a real answer, don't you?
Fair enough.
you gotta think of
it's
it.
funny that you're going through like the real turmoil of
Yes,
like,
you want this.
I'm like, I
answer?
think you get rid of movies, whatever.
But I got.
And you're over here like, like no, yeah, like no, like
Ghost of Tsushima. That's older than 5 years, I'm pretty sure. Like 2019. God of War 2018.
yeah, but you got Ragnarok.
Yeah. Afterwards.
Yeah.
I think like 2 years ago. But that's one game. I don't know, dude. I don't know which one I would get rid of.
You're gonna spend the whole episode until you give me an answer. I don't give a fuck. I'm like, I want to know now. That's crazy that it's that tough of a battle in your mind.
Yeah. Because I really like movies.
And I'm saying it wipes out. Now we're going all the way down. Like, fuck it. It wipes out the complete back catalog of everything.
Yeah.
You pick one and it's gone. So you're saying music by default has to stay because everything is vibration.
Yes. You can't, if you get rid of music, the whole
universe
just collapses.
All spaghettifies. There you
Exactly. And I like movies. I like fighting movies too. Like I don't just like Marvel movies.
go. I know. I'm just being
You
an
know what I
asshole.
mean? Like I like fighting movies. I like the art form of choreography and actual fight scenes and all that stuff.
Outside of those two, what else do you enjoy?
I like Transformers.
So like action movies.
Action movies. I hate horror movies.
Okay.
I can't stand them.
All right, you got to answer soon.
Sci-fi.
It's
I
like
like
20 minutes.
I
in.
know. I might, because then like there's also like a whole social aspect when you're playing video games like with your friends. So like if we get rid of them, all those memories of
But if
all
you get
that's
rid of
gone.
the games, then you have the social aspect of going to the theater with your friends.
Yeah, but that's different. Nothing beats growing up with your cousins playing San Andreas. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Nothing
Even the
beats,
early days of the fucking Call of Duty.
Yeah, like nothing beats hopping on MW2 and then getting called a nigga by a white boy. Nothing beats that. Sorry. Classic. All that's gone.
Marvel will never give that to you. Although we might get a Deadpool movie where he says the N-word.
That'd be so funny.
No, wouldn't. That's crazy.
I think it'd be funny. If
Marvel,
they did it
don't
right.
listen to that guy. Jesus Christ. Ryan Reynolds, if you want to
See,
keep your
this
career.
is why it's so hard. Like,
That's why. Because Ryan Reynolds might get to say the N-word in a Deadpool
no.
movie.
I'm just saying, like, because if everything gets wiped out, everything associated to those memories also gets wiped out.
The reason why I don't give a fuck is because I still get the real mythology. So everything that the movies are based off of, you still get the real stuff.
So you'd get rid of video games? Or
No, we
movies?
get rid of movies.
Okay.
I already said this.
Okay, so you'd get rid of movies.
Yeah. I get that you grew up with both. I mean, I literally grew up with both because I got to see video games become a thing.
Same.
No. You didn't have Super Nintendo, none of that shit.
You don't know that.
Like, you didn't grow up in that era.
That doesn't mean I didn't have it.
You didn't grow up in that era. That's what I'm trying to tell you. This is time and place.
Yeah,
It's like
but
zeitgeist.
but I saw video
Cultural
games grow
movements.
too.
You saw them as they had already progressed. I saw them progress. Thinking
I
that
saw-
each system was going to be like, this is the best it gets.
No, but I saw that same thing.
No, you didn't.
Well, how could you say I didn't?
You weren't there when they came out. I was.
I was there when
You weren't even born.
I was, yeah, but you're just at an earlier time slot. But
that's what I'm saying.
But I'm still seeing it progress.
Yeah, you're still seeing it progress.
You're saying I'm
further on
not.
into the timeline. I'm at the beginning of the timeline, my old ass.
Oh, so you're playing Atari and Pong. You're that old.
okay, I'm not that old.
Okay, so then you didn't watch it fully
To be fair,
progress.
I am 89, so I was alive when they started.
This guy's first movie was in black and white.
No, it wasn't.
He's that
89 had a
old.
lot of color movies. You can, nigga, I'm rock solid in my shit. I don't give a fuck.
No, I know, but I'm saying
You can't even make a hypothetical over movies and fuck. You goddamn nerd.
Yeah.
Pick one. One dies now. You got 1 minute, nigga. One dies. I'm shooting it in the fucking head. Because I haven't even talked about fucking Fallout yet, and I need another 20 minutes for that.
Okay, if one had to go, might have to be video games, to be honest.
You have a closer relationship with movies, you think?
I probably have a closer relationship with video games. I probably spent more time playing video games.
But they just
The
mean that
movie.
much more to you?
There's more that can...
There's more than me. See how you son of a bitch.
Yeah, like I would have never got to see Transformers. I played the Transformers game like a motherfucker.
But doesn't that give you comfort knowing that they exist in other forms?
What?
Transformers?
Yeah, but I like the movie
You still
version.
get the TV show. You still get the games and the comics.
Yeah, but watching Transformers 1 in theaters is different.
Oh my god! So that trumps like all your video game experience. Whatever. I don't want to go.
No,
you
that's-
picked one.
no,
you
I don't
picked
know.
one. You picked one.
You know, fuck it. Music
Music can go.
Fuck everything. Fuck the
Oh
whole
my
universe.
god! This guy would rather destroy the fabric of fucking space and time. Ah, shit! That's hilarious.
In my old age now, I'm trying to play video games less. Right? I'm not trying to play as much, even though I still play them.
Yeah.
I'm not playing them as I once did.
Hell no. But I'm not watching movies either the way I once did.
Yeah, but if if a sick martial arts movie is coming out,
Yeah.
I gotta watch it.
It is obviously easier to watch a movie because you go and eat and whatever the fuck you just throw
Yeah.
something on and like you have to actually play the video
That's
game.
too hard of a question for me.
And honestly, like they both really died out for me.
Yeah.
I still pay attention very much so to video games for some reason. Like I'm kind of tapped into the news on video games and like, cause I love the tech. I love how video games have driven the tech industry for so long. And that's probably the most fascinating part. I always love seeing the progression in the consoles and the graphic increases and the frame rates and the fucking all this like technical aspects of it.
Yeah.
As much as I do love the artistry of the, like I love video games more because it's an interactive movie.
And
I get to create the actual.
That's part of my hang up. Like I like the interactive.
Yeah.
Like playing God of War is like playing a movie. Ghost of Tsushima, playing a movie.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And there's a full-on movie mode that you can put it in.
And you get more content than a movie. You pretty much get a movie plus a sequel in a game, like worth of content
Yeah.
and dialogue and cutscenes and all this shit. But yeah, they definitely have like. There hasn't been. I'm trying to think. I have not even gotten excited for any of the Batman stuff. Like nothing's really getting me excited. The last movie that I've fallen in love with, probably Interstellar. Like to the point where I'm like, yo, this immediately goes in like something I'm watching for the rest of my life.
Yeah.
Ghost of Tsushima was like I have had so many video games since that I'm like, okay, even though I'm playing games less, there's still enough of them coming out at a high enough rate.
Okay.
Like Zelda fucking took my time when
Yeah.
Tears of the Kingdom came out. Like Fallout London just came out. And even though I'm not playing the same, like before I would just have hours and not move.
Yeah.
Like when I was younger.
No, same.
Like I got shit to do.
I got shit
So
to do.
I'm minding my P's and Q's. But even still, like Fallout London came out, what, like 2-3 days ago? I have just under like 10 hours in it.
Damn.
Yeah, when did it come out? What day is it today's?
Came out Thursday. You're playing it.
Yeah.
You set it up at least.
Yeah, like just under 10 hours. And that's like getting like scratching itches, going and doing shows and coming back and playing for 2 hours here, 2.5 hours there.
Yeah.
Like, I can see how this will like easily eat up my time if I allow it to. And that's why I'm not allowing it to, because
Yeah.
like not even my main franchises have gotten me as excited. When I played Tears of the Kingdom, I played the fuck out of it. But when it lost me, it just lost me. I'm like, oh, there it goes again. Like it had me because it was Zelda, And like that's a childhood core franchise of mine.
Yeah.
And they still are making fantastic like AAA games, like in terms of not just like the playability, all that stuff. It's super fun to play. And then eventually my brain is just like, oh yeah, nah, you got like you're trying to be a successful comedian. Turn that shit off. And once that happened, I barely squeaked to the ending of the game. The story.
I barely did anything.
But I did get like 100 hours into that game by the time I was done. But yeah, Fallout London, I'm hoping takes me longer to see it. And you know what? I've actually, it's been interesting as I'm playing Fallout London. I'm realizing now because of me actually having goals and schedules and deadlines and all these like things that I'm doing. Whereas when I was first playing like Fallout, the franchise, I was a teenager. And I had all the free time in the world, so I could just sink hundreds of hours into fucking literally getting multiple playthroughs to make sure I saw everything.
Yep.
What I love about Fallout London is because it's on PC, I can just use console commands, and I'm realizing that I'm okay with that now, because if you don't know, like for PC games, you can actually like it's not even hacking, but you essentially just like press a certain key on the keyboard. And it pulls up this command box, and you just start typing in code. And you can give yourself like unlimited health, unlimited ammo, fucking money, this and that.
/ no clip.
Like all that shit. So I pretty much leveled the fuck out of my character. Way past. Because I'm realizing what I love most about Zelda, Fallout, pretty much all my favorite franchises. Most of them are Grand Theft Auto. It's all open world exploration shit.
Yeah.
Like the first thing I do when I get Grand Theft Auto isn't fucking run through the story. Fuck, that's damn near the last thing I do. I unlock every game. Every time I get a GTA, the first thing I do is find a plane and just map out the whole map, get a gauge of how big this shit is, and just start going into every nook and cranny. Because I love world building. And world building to me means so much more in video games than it does in movies, because you can't interact with the movie. That's why I'm watching this Deadpool Wolverine movie, and like, because I don't have the context of what the Void is from the comics and all that shit. What they chose to show of the Void was boring as fuck to me. I couldn't just take my character of Deadpool and then go explore another area of the Void, which you say there's like multiple areas and shit, so it's not all desert. Yeah. But to me, what that felt like is a movie choice of keeping the budget. Like, this is one place where we could save on budget, is if we just have this bland fucking environment. Yeah. But video games, you like, when they do that, people don't play the game. Because it's just like, you're only going to give me this, and it's not even going to be the best of what you can give me, then I'm out. Like, but Fallout, I'm more okay with, even though it's an art. Damn, and you know what's bugging me? Is because this isn't an official release. Like, Fallout London is made by a development, like a modding team. So if you're not like a gamer, we'll get off the nerd shit in a couple minutes here. But for people that aren't gamers, for people that aren't gamers, like, this is why people that have always played on computers have always said it's the best experience of all of it. Because the console experiences are great, but you can't really modify any of the games. PC, you've been able to literally modify, not just modify the games, but people that love the games that have like coding experience on computer will actually go and make levels, will make weapons, will make characters, will make environments.
They'll make whole different games.
Well, that's what London is.
But even like Arma 2, Arma 3 became H1Z1, and then that becomes PUBG, and that's how we got Fortnite.
True.
You know what I mean?
Started essentially off a mod passion project.
Exactly.
And maybe that's not even maybe 100%. That's what has contributed to why I've gotten so hype over Fallout London, which like, unless it's a franchise now that I grew up with, or I could tell, like Ghost of Tsushima, before it came out, I knew that this is going to be a game I'm going to be in love with, because it hit all the right notes. It's a developer that I know, who I trust. They make really good games. Yep. It's a setting that I'm in love with. And they fucking mentioned Kurosawa and all this fucking traditional Japanese, like, samurai movie stuff. I'm like,
if we got rid of movies, we wouldn't even get Ghost of Tsushima.
That's not true, because samurais existed.
Yeah, but the whole Shirazawa thing, that whole inspiration and that whole thing would be gone.
That mode might not be there, but you can't say that the game wouldn't be there.
it was if they were basing it off that. Like if that was like a major inspiration and that inspiration never existed.
Yeah, but even that inspiration is off of the original source material, which is Samurai itself, which existed. We're not taking.
But
that
I'm
away.
just saying.
I'm saying, yeah, you're right. There's a chance, but I don't know, because if let's say we remove one artistic medium, then I would imagine all the shit that we didn't see in that medium floods over to the other, whichever one you delete. Just with less interactive. Maybe even movies become more interactive, like Netflix tried.
Yeah,
fucking
Bandersnatcher.
Yeah. But yeah, as I'm booting up Fallout London and I have all this excitement, I'm realizing, a lot of it is because I have a personal vested stake in this. I've been watching these ragtag nobodies on the internet come together for over 5 years, and literally they're in different parts of the world. Some of them, like it's not like this is not a traditional game development, not even a traditional mod. A mod might be one guy or a team of some friends that are in the same area most of the time, or sometimes internet shit, obviously. But this is a full, almost like development team. As big as the mod is as big as the game was when it released, as big as Fallout 4, the map, plus one of the DLCs, the biggest DLC. And I'm like, this is ambitious as fuck. And then they did their little developer, like, this is our update. This is what we're working on. And I'm seeing that they're working on complete, like, they said that they're scrapping the entire game and building a whole new map. For the first time, Fallout has never gone outside of America, US, and they picked London as the setting. So even though it's not
London,
official,
Ontario.
yeah, even though it's not official canon or lore or part of the Fallout canon, they are fans of the series, so they know about it. They love it. They're not here to disrespect it. They're here to put their own stamp on it. And I don't know shit about growing up in London. And this game is super, from what I'm reading on the internet and shit, like super accurate to the boroughs. They only put 15 of the boroughs of London, England in the game because the rest of it would be too big. But I remember I was watching a live stream and then a guy chimes in on the chat. He's like, this is actually my neighborhood, like building for building. This is trippy because I didn't think they would get my little dinky neighborhood in the game. And I fucking love that shit, bro. I would rather have the interactivity over everything else. But what I'm just not as attached to anymore is the multiple playthroughs and all that stuff. I don't want to fucking play through it 18 times to make sure I've seen everything. So I'm more okay with opening up the editor, the script editor, and just typing in not all the cheat codes, but like getting my character level super high up.
Well, that was one of the best things of San Andreas. Everyone
cheat
knows
codes?
cheat codes. You had your freaking list. Once again, just going back to that. R1, R2, L1X, left down,
Up, down, yeah, left down, up, yeah.
You know, like all those are seared into my mind, dude.
Fire. All right, that's enough. 40 minutes on fucking nerd garbage. Holy fuck. Anyways, go watch Wolverine and go play Fallout London if you're a nerd. Let's do what we're supposed to be doing. Jesus, you know what? I'm mad at myself now. Maybe we should actually start with the comedy recaps. Does that make more sense? So we get
I think so.
into the comedy quicker.
Yeah. We'll do that next week.
And then we don't have 40 minutes of people just tuning out because they're like, these guys are fucking loser nerds.
No, we just get more nerd watchers.
Yeah, but no, I want more comedy watchers than nerd watchers. I'm more interested in that. I'm more interested in that. I know a lot of you comedy fans are nerds too. I mean, fuck, look at us talking all this nerdy shit. But no, I feel like I went way too far left on what this podcast is supposed to be just now.
And you know what's funny? We were initially going into the comedy stuff first, and then
that's what I'm saying. That's why I'm mad at myself because I'm like, no, wait, hey.
Let's do this right.
Let's do this. Oh my god, fuck that shit. I'm putting this stuff at the end going forward. It's literally 40 minutes. I almost want to kill another minute just to make it actually 40 minutes. Now let's do what we're supposed to be doing. Let's talk about comedy recap. This podcast is a side piece, companion piece, an honest, in-depth look at what it takes to become or be a comedian this day and age. And adding Dante to the fold has made it even more interesting because he is at the beginning of his comedy career, and I am 13 years in. So now you kind of get to see everything. You get to see someone build up from ground zero and someone trying to break on through to the other side. And actually, Dante is going to be carrying this week's comedy recap because I wasn't able to make it to my show yesterday. And my show today hasn't happened yet because we were recording this before the show. What time is it, by the way?
6.
It's 6 already?
Yes.
All right, we got to get out of here. Fuck, this whole episode is fucking nerd shit. Okay, so you had one open mic this week.
Yes.
5-minute set.
5-minute set.
Did you do a little over or?
I feel like I did.
Okay, because they're loose with the lighting over there.
Yeah, they are.
Yeah.
Because so the way my set list is now,
Yeah.
I got the light midway through the Walmart joke,
Okay.
but I finish off with the Roach joke,
Okay, yeah.
right?
You're
And-
working on placement and timing and all that stuff? Or is there anything specific you're working on right now, or are you just kind of still just saying it over and over?
saying it over and over again, but I'm also like, I feel like right now, I'm because my Roach joke gets the biggest laugh so far
Yeah.
consistently. I know to finish with that one,
Mm-hmm.
right? So now, I don't know if you ever tried this, but have you ever tried to like solve a maze backwards? It's actually, for me, it's easier to solve it backwards.
Interesting. That's just a brain technique?
A brain technique type thing, right? So now I know, okay, this is what
I already know the answer.
I already know what I'm ending with.
So if I know that, then I got to know where I'm starting.
Well, no,
It's like a subconscious trick.
I'm building my way to the start.
Mm.
Right. So I know I'm ending with these last 2 jokes. And now I'm trying to like fill in that first like 3 minutes.
True. I see what you're saying. I
Right?
see what you're saying. Yeah.
But even like this week, one thing that I find has been getting pretty good reactions is kind of riffing off what someone did earlier
Mm-hmm.
in the show. So like when I was being introduced, Andrea was saying, like, she was introducing me and she was saying all this stuff. And then I went up and then I immediately said something based off what she said.
Mm-hmm.
And that was a pretty good laugh. So I'm like, okay, you know, add it to the inventory. You know, now I know, like, hey, try and go off what other people are saying, start with that, and then go into your stuff.
Stop, you're shaking that camera.
Oh, my bad. Yeah. But you know what I mean? Like,
Said this nigga sawing the tail.
going back and forth.
Slice and dice.
So yeah, that's kind of what I did. That did pretty well. And then I went into my material. I said the same thing, but a little bit different,
Yeah.
and saw how people reacted or didn't react versus the other time that I said it.
I know this isn't going to exactly be beneficial for you because you're at the beginning, but the reason, because I went with Dante to the open mic on Thursday, but I didn't perform. I signed up and then I'm like, if you've noticed with that show specifically, or really with any open mic, unless I'm driving out of town, then I'll 100% do it. But if it's something that I just walk to, I'm going to feel it out.
Yeah.
There's like, once you're past a certain point in comedy, and you know what, this doesn't apply to everybody, but for me specifically, and I've talked to other people, they feel the same way. It's just hard. Like, there's something to just getting up there and speaking a new joke out. Because before a joke is really developed, the most important thing is just saying it. And so you start to get a feel for it. Start to get a feel for the beats and the through lines and the punches and the lows that you fucking throw out. So like you don't necessarily, like, you don't want to be doing this on a paid weekend show or something. Like, you don't want to be trying out just, unless you're really good. Like, I have worked it into my style now to be able to try new shit out.
Yeah.
Plus, once you have enough really good material accumulated,
Yeah.
it's kind of like a buffer.
Yeah.
It makes it easier to pepper in a new idea on a booked or paid or weekend show when you know that it's not going to tank because you have all this cushion around it. When you're at your stage, you pretty much have to do every month. It's just hard for me to, like, when I see that room and it's all comics, I'm like, I have less interest because I can't gauge. Plus, I
and
can't.
that's what I was. Remember, we were talking about this. Like, I was even like, do I even do the same jokes because it's in front of the same people? So how will I know if it's really that funny?
Because at that stage, you're not doing it for that, or at least you shouldn't be worried about that because you don't have enough material to even care yet.
Yeah, but you want material that makes people laugh.
Correct.
So how
but,
my thought process is,
but you're at a point where you don't have reps. You need, before you can even get to that point, you need reps. So it becomes like muscle memory, and you know what I mean?
yeah, but so you get muscle memory, but what if you get muscle memory in saying stuff that gets no laughs? What good is that?
It's not, again, that's ideally not why you're doing it at that point. You're doing mics literally because you have no other space. You're not a pro, so you're not gonna get the opportunity to go to the corner or Yucks on a weekend.
Yeah, but the ultimate goal is to do funny stuff,
Of course.
right? So
you can't get to the funny stuff until you've said it enough. And then like
so you
You
have
know
to
what I
say
mean?
it enough, but you have to know that it's funny as well.
correct. Yeah, I'm not gonna deny that it's less of a proper gauge, but that's what I'm saying. At that point, you shouldn't even be fucking concerned about that.
About
'Cause-
funny?
You should be concerned about funny, but you like, bro, you're not hearing me because the joke is more about how your delivery tone. That's what you're practicing. You're not there to get a fucking gauge on the funny from comics. That's the last people you want to gauge from.
That's my point, though.
That's your point, though.
Yeah, because you're right. It's how you do it, but you want to do it the funniest way.
Of
and
course.
Even if you're getting reps in, but you're
And
getting
my
reps
point is,
in
you're not at the stage to even concern yourself with that.
with what?
Getting that room, an open mic. You're not there to be like, fuck, it needs to be all like just people so I can get a gauge on the funny. You need to get a gauge on the jokes, the timing, the spacing on the words, the ebbs and flows. You're not gonna get that at all unless you go to a room like that at your level. Or you hang out with someone like me, or you have someone bringing you along and they put
Sorry.
you on book shows and shit.
So say that again.
You're not like what I'm saying.
Mm-hmm.
Technically, it does apply to you, but realistically, at your level and anybody at the beginning level, it doesn't apply to you. You shouldn't give a fuck about that.
What should I not give a fuck about?
You're there to gauge if the jokes are funny or not. You're there to get a sense of what it is, to get through the moments of bombing and awkwardness and all that shit. Like you already you wouldn't be saying anything if you didn't already have a sense of it being funny in the first place. The audience obviously is the ultimate measure of it's funny or it's not funny.
Yeah.
But at an open mic, as a micer, the objective isn't going there and being like, I got to make the other micers laugh.
No, I know that's not the goal, but my point was because you want to get good at doing funny stuff,
Yeah.
right? But if you're you won't know it's funny if the micers aren't even gonna laugh, right? So if there's even like 5 audience members, you'll get a better sense of
Correct.
it because they're laughing at the joke and be like, okay, I know this kind of works.
Correct.
But if you're doing the same jokes in front of the same people, they're less likely to laugh because they've seen it before. That's what I was thinking. Because
Yeah, you're not wrong to think that either.
so,
That makes
so
sense.
if I'm doing level 1 material, how am I going to know it's funny if the same people are not going to laugh because they've already seen it? Instead of doing it in front of 5-10 audience members to where, okay, these are not comics. They've never seen it
You
before.
should show up to Mississauga on a Wednesday.
Where in Mississauga?
Art Canvas Bar.
Okay.
Jam Easy runs a mic on Wednesdays,
Okay.
and you can just drop in. But I'd just shoot him a DM.
Okay.
I just thought about this now
Yeah.
because he like I don't know. I haven't done it in a long time, but I feel like the last time I did it, there was just random audience there,
Mhm.
and it's kind of an established mic.
Yeah.
And even if there's no audience there, there's usually comics there, so you at least get a different set of comics.
Exactly. Getting new people.
My
to see
biggest
it for the
problem
first time.
is especially when you're actually established and you have writing and stage presence and material.
Yes.
Doing it in front of a room full of people that don't is you're an idiot, because that's just the way comedy is. People will cannibalize your shit.
Mm-hmm. No, that makes
They'll just
that
straight
makes
up.
sense.
And I'm like, I don't even want to try my new ideas because at this point I'm writing, like my jokes come out not always really well, like, but I know my voice enough now.
Yeah.
And I still have the same process as when I started, of which I built up over time. It got stronger and stronger over time, but of acknowledging what is funny to me and knowing because a ton of funny things happen throughout my day all the time.
Yes.
But not all of it. My brain is like, this translates through my voice into something I want to say on stage. But when it does, like I catch it immediately.
Yeah.
And I don't even want to bring that shit.
Yeah.
To, like, thankfully, I'm at a place now where I get more of proper like paid weekend spots and all that stuff.
Yeah.
And that's why I really had to fucking figure out, especially through COVID, as all the mic scenes just disappeared and we didn't even have rooms to try shit out anyways. As stuff started coming back, the beginning of shows coming back after COVID was mostly book stuff. And it's like, you didn't really want to fucking, I mean, I guess maybe not right after COVID because everyone was trying new shit. But once things got established a little bit again.
Yeah, once things settled back in a little bit more.
It's like I had to develop a better process of elimination or being able to just throw, and that's where I realized I'm like, okay, well, I can do it wherever I'm at, especially now that the jokes are coming out at a high enough funny level that I could squeak it in.
Yes.
And if it doesn't do that well, like it's a new joke, so I'll know that. And the audience will be okay because I'll pull them back out through this fucking back avenue, or take them through this door, or fucking jump through the fucking building window at the top floor and just like,
Mission Impossible.
Niggas. Do you have any specific goals in mind? Like, so you're trying to build a solid 5 minutes.
Yes, that's the main.
I
think a solid 5 minutes that works for the whole 5 minutes.
Yeah, consistent laughter.
Consistent throughout the whole, like a strong 5 minutes to where, and even like maybe I'll say 7 minutes.
Okay.
Right? So you can edit out and switch things out just to be on the safer side.
Yeah.
Right? So I think,
are you putting an actual emphasis on that? Like, are
7 minutes?
Are you
or
putting
5
that
minutes?
in? Are you putting that as a marker in your mind?
What?
Like, are you telling yourself that I need this or whatever?
My main thing is 5 minutes. Just get at least 5 minutes of something. Put something together. Right? 5 minutes of material. Then I can, once I have 5, then you can keep that 5 and then add another 5.
I love this part of the process.
And then now I got 10 minutes. And now someone's like, hey, you got 10 minutes? I got a spot for you. Okay, sick. But I got to at least get the first 5.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So
there's no wrong approach. That's what the best thing about this is. It's like, there's obviously things you should be focused on sooner than later. But like, even I'm not the person to be telling people this, because when I started, like, my first emphasis was on transitions. I've talked about this, I'm sure, numerous times on the podcast, but it's like, I've always been fascinated by comedians that could get from one joke to the next without you realizing that. You've just gone through 8 jokes. How the fuck did I get here? He started on barnyard animals and now I'm at fucking suicide. Like, how the fuck?
And so that's another, because I watched back my set, because I actually recorded this one.
Yeah.
So even like as I'm watching it, I'm like, oh, I need to put a transition here. Right? Because I'm going in between jokes, but I don't have a transition. I have one transition right now, but it's not really anything. You know, it's just like, I don't even want to say it, but you know what I mean? It's just, I just throw it out there. But going through it, I'm like, okay, if this was like a video edit, this is a rough cut here, this is a rough cut here, this is a rough cut here. Like, I have all these jokes, but they're not blended together.
Yeah.
They're just joke. Right? And then maybe the last 2, they are a little bit more blended because they're on the same topic.
I feel like had I had known better, or maybe if I not even known better, but it's almost like, I think in a sense, all that stuff, even though I'm not saying it's wrong, because again, I even took a different approach, but it's like putting an emphasis on transitions or a solid 5 minutes or whatever, like kind of takes attention away from the fact that you're really just developing your voice at the beginning, which is the first and foremost. All these things come through developing your voice.
Yes.
Because I feel like, I almost wonder, because I can't go back and figure this out, but had I put the emphasis on figuring out what I'm supposed to sound like, or what I naturally sound like on stage, or how to transfer what I naturally sound like to the stage, as opposed to emphasis on transitions and because even I'm like, I remember one time somebody came up to me, and this is like within the first 3 years of me doing comedy, and they're like, nobody knows you for like like you don't have a staple joke or whatever. I was that, because everybody around me at that time was working on getting their 5 minutes. Like, this is my 5 minutes, and they're doing the same fucking order every night of jokes. Some of them still do. Jesus. I never wanted to be like that, bro.
Exactly.
I almost for 5 years, maybe not for 5 years, for at least those 3 years, I don't think I ever walked up on stage and told the same set twice, which is now 13 years later turned into, I have never, I can damn near guarantee this, I have never told the same joke the same way twice.
Yep.
I know, and this is obviously something that has happened through developing the style, but I know my beats. I know, I'm not even attached to the fact that, because you know what ends up happening in that process? Sometimes you forget a funnier part of the joke because another part of the joke ends up finding its way in there.
Yes.
I'm okay with that. Because I ultimately remember the punch, the setups. That's the most important part. Sometimes you get the little fucking, it's just like the accents. You know what I mean? That just like a little cherry on top of the.
Exactly.
But for me, for what I'm trying to present myself as, which is authentic, this is how I am authentically. Some of y'all will see a better version of a joke than others.
Yeah.
But what I pride myself on is that every audience I perform for has had a tailored experience from me to them. From day one, what I do when I get to a show is I stand in the back of the room for the first 10 minutes or whatever. All the comics as they're talking and shit, I'm watching what works, who's in the audience, I remember after I got over the working on figuring out transitions and stuff, the next thing was like, what I'm saying right now is, how do I tailor the experience to the room? And not just, you have to be in the room, be present, be aware, correct. And that means not fucking off and actually paying attention to the shit. Like most comics won't. I still, to this day, I'm one of the few comics that will sit there and watch a show. Not every show.
Yeah.
I've gotten out of the habit of doing that at every show now. But for the most part, especially if it's people I've never seen before, I'm fascinated by that shit.
Yep.
Like,
and that's one of the things that I'm working on. As like I was saying, Andrea goes up and says something. If I'm not paying attention to what she's saying or what other people are saying,
correct,
I'm just gonna go, because we've gone to enough shows where I've seen comics blast through their material and not even connect with the audience once.
Yeah. Those are, that's like neuroses and shit. And
but I don't want to go down that route of okay, I got a type 5, but you don't.
But you don't have neuroses, so you don't need to go down that route. Some people are straight up like autistic, like they can't, no eye contact.
It's not even no eye contact, because like sometimes I feel weird like looking directly at audience members like in the eye.
I love that.
Like I'll do it, but I gotta like look away. Like it feels so weird because
that's the intimacy.
They're like looking at me like this. So I'll like look down. And then I'm like, okay, I'll go to the next person. I'll go to the next person. Like I don't like lock in.
That is a level of intimacy that video games, movies, none of that shit will ever give people. That is a personal experience.
It is.
That is a movie that's tailored to you.
Exactly.
That is a video game that was written for you. You know what I mean? Not as opposed to a video game that you are being a part of and fucking moving your character as you want to. Is like, no, bitch. I have created the universe. And the vehicle kind of, but I'm gonna let you drive.
Yeah, and it's a back and forth thing. And so going back to the set, I was telling one of the jokes about, how Canada, there's a bunch of different people, right? And have you seen me do that one yet? Maybe at one of the other open mics.
Maybe.
But either way,
it's a newer joke.
It's a newer joke.
Say the premise again?
Canada is very multicultural.
I don't remember this joke, no.
Either way,
you told it on Thursday?
I told it on Thursday.
Yeah.
But because there was more audience response, because there was actual audience members this week.
Yeah.
Right? So like I said it, and then the crowd responded in a certain way. So now I respond back to the audience, even though I know what I'm still gonna say. It's like, okay, well, they reacted this way. Now I gotta switch it up and react this way in according to what they're doing.
Yeah.
Right. So it's not like, okay, they respond and I still go through the material. I'm like, no, they did this. I'm like, okay, I acknowledge it. And then I continue with the joke. And then it's a more personal connection because they had a response and then I had a response to their response.
Mm-hmm.
Right. So I think those sort of smaller things that I'm still trying to be present in the moment to even like notice them. Cause sometimes I'm not going to say I black out, but like
when you're preparing for a set, you're in your own universe.
Not even that. Like I'll be on stage and then I will just forget, like, you know, not my stuff, but I'm like, oh yeah, I'm on stage. You know what I mean? Like lock in, look at them in their eyes. You know what I mean? Like,
okay, I see what you mean.
You know what I mean? Like I'll still like, you know, I don't think I have an eye contact thing, but it's like when I'm just looking directly at the, like, it feels weird looking down at someone in their eyes and they're just like, tell me a joke. You know what I mean?
Not to me anymore, but I do know what you mean.
Yeah.
Doesn't like
say something funny.
I love it, bro. Comedy club people are just vulnerable.
Mm-hmm.
I love fucking with people's expectations. I love a misdirect. This is bro. I love every facet of comedy, man.
Mm-hmm.
Like I am obsessed with comedy, like really, like nothing else in my life, bro. Shut the fuck up.
Speaking of comedy, we should probably go over to the poll results.
Yeah, let's. Yeah. Like I feel like there's still more I want to say because
Okay,
this is
sorry.
no. Like no, we've said a lot. And at least this episode is half fucking Marvel and half comedy now. As long as we at least match the nerd shit with comedy,
we gotta balance it out.
I might even edit it so that this goes first. No, I'm joking, but you know the preview for this week is gonna be. I'm gonna be like, yo, just get through the Marvel shit. I'm even gonna say this right now. Get through the nerd shit. We talk about comedy a lot. Timestamp that for me, please.
Gotcha.
Remember, this is 10 minutes behind.
Yeah, I've been.
Giga Chikadze. We can't do the UFC recap for this week because we were recording this before the event happens. Mm-hmm. So we'll briefly go over the results of the fight on next week's episode, which you won't care by then anyways, but we'll do it for you just for continuity's sake. We're gonna change the way we do UFC recaps and all that stuff. Yo, honestly, bro, maybe even we just keep that out of the podcast and record them separately. I'm just throwing that out there as an idea. It doesn't have to happen. Mm-hmm. I'm okay with them still being in the podcast, especially now because we keep that shit to the end.
Yeah.
But what I'm realizing today is maybe front load it with comedy and then
we should only
nerd it
have,
out at the back.
at the end.
Yeah.
That's the dessert. When we get through all the comedy stuff, when we do our 50 minutes on comedy recap, the last 10 minutes could be nerd and UFC. Maybe wrestling if there's something going on.
I like that, you son of a bitch. Yeah, why don't you twist the knife, you fuck. Go and watch that damn Deadpool movie again, motherfucker. Wrestling's still real to me, damn it. Have you ever seen that video?
No.
Type that in right now. Type that in right now. It's still real to me, damn it. This man speaks to my wrestling nerddom. It's still real to me, damn it. Okay, bro, wait. 15 years ago, that's the top one.
Okay.
There's a documentary on the guy. So this is, you know how like they do the Comic Cons and all that stuff, like the local comic conventions, especially the last like 10 years, they've been bringing the wrestlers out like crazy.
Yep. Mm-hmm.
And so this is even before then. This is a straight up like wrestling, like it's in a high school gymnasium, it looks like a meet and greet type deal.
Yeah.
And this is like a super fan.
Yes.
This is obviously years past the heyday of the 80s and 90s of wrestling. And this is someone who grew up through that. We'll watch the 30 seconds.
E-Bombs.
Pause it. Yeah. Pause it. Yeah. E-Bombs. Yo, shout out to E-Bombs. My old ass. Turn up the volume on the video. Yeah.
Play it?
Yeah.
Where are you? Right there.
Yeah. I just want to thank each and every one of y'all for all you've done to your bodies. It's still real to me, damn it. I mean, thank you.
And they say that a
You're awesome.
say
Thank you so much, Mr. Funk, for saying what needed to be said.
You can stop it now.
I don't want to.
I hold on.
That needs to be a soundboard effect.
It's still real to me. It's so real. Bro, this guy was affected by wrestling so much. Thank you for all you've done to your bodies. That's what he says. Bruh.
Yeah, their bodies are destroyed.
These new guys are the athletes. The new generation, the 2000s and up, are the actual athletes that got into wrestling. Anything before that is barroom brawler cokeheads. And juiced up roid monkeys.
I was waiting for that part.
Like, bruh, they're walking around like this now, bro. Like,
Yeah.
if they're alive,
Yeah.
bro. It's actually sad as fuck. The statistics of the wrestlers from the 80s that are dead now, almost all of them, bro. It's fucked. Even like, it's crazy to see Ric Flair just casually fucking just, because he did so much coke and partying and stuff. But then Hulk Hogan now, he's got like a fucking walker.
Does he really?
It's oh yeah, brother. Walk it out, brother. Oh shit. Hulkamania is running wild on the handicap parking. Anyways, let's wrap this episode up with another segment we do here every week called Poll Results. Ladies and gentlemen, if you are new to the podcast, welcome. If you're returning, welcome back, beautiful people. You too can be a beautiful person. All you have to do is hit that subscribe button, leave a comment, hit the like button. Help us fight Mr. Algorithm, nigga. As we continue to grow and be the hero to save you, and comedy won't stand here and wait. Why do I know that? It's because I grew up in Canada. Nickel crap. Anyways, every Monday on my Instagram story feed and on the community tab on YouTube, I post an interactive poll question. We leave it up for you guys to vote on, and then we discuss the results here on the podcast. Before we break down the results, let's find out what this week's poll question is. And you notice I'm actually getting more into the comedy. Bro, this is a comedy podcast. And
This is a nerd podcast. We're talking about comedy.
Partly nerd podcast. But if I'm gonna start taking the long skull rifle out to these fake ass fucking comedy channels, then I got to make sure I double down on this
Part
comedy
2A
shit.
channel as well.
So this week's poll question, more in line with comedy, full of spelling errors. What's your favy? What's your fave era of comedians? And the options were 70s and 80s, 90s and 2000s, and 2010s to present. And before we get to the results, Dante, how did you vote?
90s to 2000s.
And
Sorry, 2000s up to 2010, correct?
Up to the 2010s, yeah.
Yeah.
90s to 2009, essentially.
Yeah, okay.
Or to 2010, then from 2010 on.
90s.
90s. You know, I never even stopped to think about this, but I would have to. Dude. I feel like my guys are split between the 70s and the 90s. So I just have to figure out who impacted me more.
Yeah, because this is weird. Like, what happened? The 80s, I guess that goes all the way up to 89. So, yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
So, okay, Carlin would be 70s. You know what's fucked? Is even like all these other guys came later for me. I wouldn't say, or I had lesser impact, but their impact meant more to me the longer I was in comedy.
Okay.
Like Dick Gregory. I wasn't when I was first starting out being like, holy fuck, Dick Gregory. I watched like him speak. I never watched his comedy, but he would always like have amazing speeches and stuff talking about just black people and culture and all this stuff. But I would say he had a greater impact on me comedically the older I got and the later in comedy I got. But early influences that were from the 70s would have to be Kaufman and Carlin. Bernie, I consider 90s. Chappelle, 90s. Like, and all the other guys, Martin, Chris, Eddie.
Cat.
2000s. Has to be 90s, 2000s.
It has to be.
Has to be 90s, 2000s. But I still feel like I have a connection to that old world of comedy.
But which is your favorite? Because that's the question.
Oh, true. I'm sitting here like a fucking dingus being like, these guys had the most impact on me. Thank you for saying that, because I read my own fucking thing wrong. Which are my faves? No, it would still have to be 90s, 2000s. Bernie's 90s, 2000s. Chappelle's 90s, 2000s. Patrice, 90s, 2000s.
There you go. Took you long enough.
90s. It's because Patrice was here last week. So I'm like trying to cycle through like, yeah, no, man. It has to be 90s, 2000s. Let me just list off the top of my head from 90s, 2000s, the ones that had most impact on me. Martin Lawrence, Jamie Foxx, Chris Tucker, Eddie Griffin, Kat, Chappelle. Like, these are just Patrice, Mike Epps. Bro, and I'm missing so many. Like, that's the fucked up part. There's so many white dudes. Burr. Lewis Black. Random one. Lewis Black, I was obsessed with for a few years there. Okay. There's too many. All right, now let me try and get some 70s, 80s guys. Carlin, Kaufman, Rickles, Pryor, Mooney. Shit. That's an insane list already. Dangerfield. I said Rickles?
Yeah.
Kaufman, I didn't say in this yet.
You did.
I did?
Yeah.
There's way too many white guys that I'm leaving out.
Did you throw Jim Carrey in the 90s?
Jim! I got to put this book in my living room so that I actually read it. I've actually been, like, this got brought up in conversation like twice in the past week.
Oh, sick.
Jim Carrey, Memories and Misinformation. It's half autobiographical and then half made up. And then the part that's made, like, look, I'll read this. I think I've done this on the podcast also. Meet Jim Carrey. Sure, he's an insanely successful and beloved movie star drowning in wealth and privilege, but he's also lonely. Maybe past his prime, maybe even getting fat. He's tried diets, gurus, and cuddling with his military-grade Mossad-trained guard dogs, but nothing seems to lift the cloud of emptiness and annuity. Even the sage advice of his dear friend, actor, blah, blah, blah. So, Norm MacDonald has to be 90s, 2000s. Has to be 90s, 2000s, because Jim would be 90s, 2000s.
Yeah.
You know what's fucked up is Carlin is so monumental to me comedically that he almost makes me want to say 70s alone. If anybody has had more of an impact on fuck my comedy, me as a person, Carlin mind fucked me through comedy and like brought me into personhood in a proper way. That being said, I still think I have to say 90s, 2000s. Anyways, let's get to the results here. Once again, this week's poll question: what's your favorite era of comedians? The options: 70s, 80s, 90s, 2000s, and 2010s to present. 11% said 70s, 80s, 79% said 90s, 2000s, and 11% said 2010s to present. No, that makes sense. Especially given the people that follow me and stuff. It's mostly going to be 90s, 2000s babies. It's hard, bro, because all the 70s, 80s paved the way, but it wasn't until 90s that it really like took form. Pryor would be the guy, I would say, that really gave it that form, and then the 90s took that and ran. But everything prior, everything before Pryor,
Everything prior.
everything prior to Pryor is like early days to me. Pryor is the revolutionary that brought in being more personal and talking about your life experiences and making that relating to the audience. But yo, shout out to all the comedians that paved the way regardless. Thank you for thank you for your services. And they say that a hero will save us. I'm not going to stand here and wait. Did we get YouTube results?
Let me see.
This nigga. Nigga. And they say that we got some results now. You got to start pulling these up before we record going forward. 11 votes. Thank you to the 11 beautiful people that voted on YouTube. Damn near the exact same results. 18% said 70s, 80s. 73% said 90s, 2000s. 9% said the 2010s to present day. I said the 10s and 20s. I guess that makes sense. Does that make sense?
10s and 20s. You said 10s and present.
Yeah.
10s to the present.
Either way, I feel like people know what the hell I meant there. Yeah, thank you again. Please continue to support. Make sure you check out for the new poll questions every Monday on the community tab on YouTube and my story feed on Instagram. But that will wrap up this week's episode of the podcast. Before we get out of here, Dante, you have any final words? All right, where can people find you?
You can find me online at Dante, CHEZDANTE. Follow your boy.
All right. I am AKA Black Zeus on all the socials. But most importantly, make sure you are locked in right here on YouTube. Hit that subscribe button. Our Patreon is getting filled up. Backlog.
Pause.
Filled up backlog. Crazy statement. Crazy statement. Thankfully, I started that with our Patreon. Jeez. Hey, yo. Anyways, yeah, we got a really fun trailer coming out that will give you a glimpse as to what's going to be presented first on Patreon, then slowly trickling out onto the YouTube, and then from there, all the rest of the social platforms. But AKA Black Zeus on all the platforms, right here is the place to be. If you are a comedy fan, then this is a comedy channel run by comedians for real comedy fans. I love y'all. This has been Black Zeus, the podcast, season 5, episode 27. We will see you next week. But until then, peace, peace.
This is Black Zeus, the podcast, season 5.
I love y'all. Thank you for supporting. Once again, the Patreon is launched. If you do want to watch my comedy special right now, you can do so. It's only $10 and you can get it as part of the subscription fee. So like if you subscribe to the Patreon, you can get it that way, or you can just buy it outright for $10 that way. Once again, for transparency, I will release the comedy special for free on the YouTube once we hit 1,000 subscribers. So you can also just hit the subscriber button and just do that. You can support that way, whichever way you want to support. I'm on TikTok, Instagram, Twitter, all that. I don't necessarily use it the way everybody else does, but I'm there if you want to find me. AKA Black Zeus is the person to find on those platforms.